The news starts now. AM 1240 and 95.3 FM. WJON.
Good morning. I'm Jim Maurice. It's 7:05. It's a mild 32 this morning. Your WJON weather eye forecast coming up in a few minutes after the news. Our news this hour brought to you by Luther Honda of St. Cloud. Sauk Rapids City Council will have a special meeting tonight. On their agenda, they have a public hearing to extend the orderly annexation agreement with Minden Township. In 2002, the city entered into an agreement with the township. That agreement is valid through 2025. The extension is largely the same as the original, broken down into 5 different zones. However, one zone's been all annexed and no longer needs to be a part of the agreement. The city also has agreed to annex some properties near the high school that have become islands in the city. The structure of the Joint Planning Board will stay the same. This new agreement's for 25 years. The previous one, 23 years. The town board approved the agreement earlier this month. The Office of Administrative Hearings in St. Paul has the final approval. Kids are able to get their hands on some fun science projects at St. Cloud State University on Saturday. SCSU held a science, technology, engineering, and math camp where the kids got to explore science concepts, engineer solutions, and analyze data and fun hands-on projects. Camp director Alana Curtis-Nair says the camps are also useful for SCSU students.
This provided an opportunity for any undergraduate education students at SCSU or master students at SCSU in education to have a place to do any research that they need to in a classroom setting, that then we were safely making sure that we were following all the protocols.
She says this was the 4th camp since the start up in the fall, and they will have a camp every month. They can take up to 21 kids per camp, and Curtis-Nair says they hope to have the camps continue to grow. The head of the Minnesota Biofuels Association's concerned that small refinery exemptions could ramp up under President-elect Donald Trump. Executive Director Brian Werner says the Trump EPA did a lot of damage to the biofuels industry by granting unwarranted SREs between 2016 and 2020. Small refinery exemptions are temporary waivers that the EPA can grant to petroleum refineries that produce less than 75,000 barrels of crude oil per day, releasing them from their blending obligations.
The amount of waivers, the amount of demand destruction that was caused by that, and to try to caution that type of an approach and a return to that type of an approach really would be harmful for the industry.
Werner says he's confident biofuel champions in Congress will address SRE concerns with Trump's nominee for the EPA administrator, Lee Zeldin, during the confirmation hearings. The CEO of the Minnesota Beef Council says they're reflecting on the past year, they had strong demand. Kelly Schmidt says 2024 has been healthy for the cattle business. He says the council considers socioeconomic and preference factors when marketing beef.
Kind of as we look back on 2024, and what we try to do is we want to make sure that we're just staying in front of consumers when they make their food choices. And obviously, it's not just that simple. There's a lot of things to consider.
Schmidt says taste and convenience are 2 big factors when consumers choose beef. Just in time for the holidays, the Mega Millions jackpot keeps growing. The estimated jackpot for tomorrow night's drawing is $740 million, or about $342 million if you take the cash option. It's the 8th largest jackpot in the game's history. It's been rolling since it was last won in September. Mega Millions jackpot's only been won 3 times so far this year, the fewest won in any single year since the game began. Tickets are sold in 45 states, Washington, D.C., and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Drawings are held at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays and on Fridays. WJON news time is 7:09. It's 32 this morning. News this hour brought to you by Luther Honda of St. Cloud. Your WJON weather eye forecast is on the way next.
WJON radar weather.
For St. Cloud and for Becker, cloudy today, mild, 35 for a high. West wind at 10 to 15. Tonight, cloudy, 21 overnight, and west wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Tomorrow, 50% chance for some light snow, 24 for a high, and wind northwest at 10 to 15. Our extended forecast on Wednesday, blend of clouds and sun, and 17. Thursday, look for a 55% chance for more snow, 24 for a high on Thursday, and then Friday, under a cloudy sky, 16 will be our daytime high. WJON News Time's coming up on 7:12. It's 32 this morning. But for more St. Cloud area news, check out the WJON mobile app. It's brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant. Jim Maurice, WJON.
All right, Jim, what's coming up at 7:30?
Sauk Rapids, their school district, looking to finalize a land swap. We'll tell you more about that coming up at the bottom of the hour.
All right, Jim, thank you. 7:11, and we're at 32 degrees. Next on WJON, Star Tribune sports columnist Jim Suhan. Jim, today brought to you by the Green Mill in downtown St. Cloud.